Hello and welcome to the Beautiful Things channel. I'm going to show you how to make scrunchies. You're going to need a safety pin and a sewing needle, some thin elastic, a pair of scissors and some extra strong thread, and a strip of fabric. Check out the description for the full measurements and sizes. So take your fabric and fold it in half lengthways. You're then going to either clip or pin up all the way along the open edge. You're going to sew it from one end to the other, but you're going to leave an inch gap about here. Let me show you. So start sewing by lining up the edge of your presser foot with the edge of your fabric. Pop your needle down and do a little back tack just to secure things at the start. Sew down about 3 or 4 inches, and when you get there, do another little back tack. Then you're going to cut your thread and you're going to start sewing again. So you've sewn 3 inches down, you're then going to leave about an inch gap and start sewing there. Again, you want to start with a back tack to secure it, and then you're going to stitch all the way down to the bottom, and when you get there, you're going to do another little back tack. You can see you've got a little opening there, so push that to the left and go along to the far right hand side. Take your safety pin and pop it through just one layer of the fabric, and you're then going to dive it right inside your tube and start to feed the safety pin through the tube. You'll have to give it a bit of a wiggle and a tug at one end to get it going and get it moving, but it will suddenly go. Then you're going to push it all the way down until it pops out the other end. Now you don't want to turn the whole tube in the right way. You just want to bring it right sides together halfway. Line it up now so that the seams are touching each other and the raw edges of the tube are both touching each other and in alignment. And we are going to sew all the way around that opening. I'm going to do it by hand. You can't get it on a sewing machine unless you're using jersey fabric. So thread your needle and tie a knot in the end of the thread. I pop it through the seam allowance here until it stops on the knot, and then I go round, create a loop and pop my needle through that loop just to secure it and tie it in a nice tight knot before I start stitching. Now I'm going to use a back stitch, so I'm going to go into my fabric and come out a little bit further along, and then I'm going to go back in where my needle originally came out, come under and a little bit further along, pull it through again, and then go back on myself. So I am making a continuous row of solid stitching all the way around the opening of my tube, being careful not to stab myself. Now my stitches are terrible, they're all different sizes, they're really messy, they're really wobbly, but it honestly doesn't matter. Just secure it with a back stitch all the way around. Now when you get back to where you started and you put that last back stitch in, you can again create a loop with your needle through the seam allowance, pop your needle through the loop and secure it with a tug, and I normally do that twice. Now you're going to find your little opening in the side and you're going to get hold of all of your tube and you're going to turn it all the way through. Again, it takes a bit of a tug to get it started, but then it will suddenly go. Ta-da! Now check out my dodgy stitching, so you can see how bad that looks. So just to put you right and make yours look nice, find that little opening and then take your elastic, pop a safety pin onto one end of it, and you are going to go into the hole with your elastic and start to feed it through the tube. Now be really careful that you hold on to the other end of the elastic. You don't want to lose that, so hold on to it tightly while you feed your safety pin all the way through the tube. When it pops out the other end, you can then take the safety pin off and tie your two ends together in a nice secure knot. Then you're going to just pull your scrunchie so the knot jumps inside your tube. Find your opening and just make sure that the raw edges are turned to the inside. Now you can hand stitch this closed if you want to, but I just like to jump on the sewing machine because it's much quicker. So you're just going to pop your needle down at the start of the hole, do a little back tack, and then you're doing a very narrow seam allowance here, about 1/8, and then do another little back tack at the other end of the hole just to secure it. You can then snip off your ends, and there you have it, one finished scrunchie. They do look really cool and they are super quick to make. They are incredibly addictive too, as you can see. So I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. I know I really enjoyed doing it for you. Do subscribe to my channel and come back again to watch more videos if you get a chance.